Ciao guys, welcome back on the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Many things to say, guys, from Arsenal to Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea and much more. Let's jump into it with many stories. And so guys, welcome back here, and today let me start. While I'm recording this video, it's important to mention one point, that Rodrygo is on the bench for the fourth consecutive time for Real Madrid. And so this is showing how the situation is getting difficult for Rodrygo at Real Madrid. Xabi Alonso spoke very well about Rodrygo intentions 24 hours ago in a press conference, but now he's again on the bench. Let's see what's going to happen there. I always told you that during the Club World Cup nothing will happen for Rodrygo, fully focused on the pitch, on doing his best for Real Madrid, but obviously after that the situation could be one to watch for the Brazilian, with Arsenal interest, genuine interest, coming from the Gunners. Then we have to see the eventual conditions of the deal, what Rodrygo wants to do, because remember, as I always repeat to you, the decision of Rodrygo will be crucial to understand what's going to happen for his future. Is the player deciding is this case, and Real Madrid are waiting to understand what's the position of the player. Real Madrid are not closing the doors of Rodrygo exit this summer, but it's Rodrygo who has to decide what he wants to do. Rodrygo is aware of Arsenal appreciation, of Arsenal interest, but still no concrete negotiations taking place, because everything will happen after the FIFA Club World Cup. And so we will see what's going to happen with Rodrygo, if other clubs will join the race, but for sure Arsenal remain very attentive, very interested in the situation, waiting to understand the eventual conditions of the deal for Rodrygo. Before I started this video, here we go for a player leaving Barcelona, and this Pablo Torre, who says goodbye to Barca and goes to Mallorca. The deal is agreed, it's a permanent transfer, 5 million euros, 50% sell-on clause, so basically Barca will control 50% of the player from Mallorca, who agreed the deal also with Pablo Torre, who gave his green light in the last 24 hours to the move. And so Pablo is leaving Barcelona, who is still, as of today, start of July, not leaving Barca, is Marc-André Ter Stegen. Yes, because today I got many messages from Barca fans, Inter fans, about the story released in Spain about Marc-André Ter Stegen maybe going to Inter, with the negotiation ongoing with Inter. Guys, what I'm told on this story for Marc-André Ter Stegen is that there is zero, completely nothing between Inter and Ter Stegen, between Inter and the agent of Ter Stegen, between Ter Stegen and Barcelona discussing an exit fee for Inter, between all parties involved, basically. Inter have never spoken to Barcelona, so there is zero into this story. Inter are not negotiating for Ter Stegen. I'm told that they are not planning to negotiate for Ter Stegen. Ter Stegen is not planning to negotiate with Inter, so there is nothing into it. At the moment, Ter Stegen is not in active talks with any club. As of today, then obviously the market is still very long. We know the situation of Barcelona. For Barca, it's going to be Juan Garcia first goalkeeper. For Wojciech Szczesny, they are going to work on this contract extension, which is almost done, for a 2-year contract for Wojciech Szczesny, just waiting for him to put pen to paper, but it's verbally agreed. And so Ter Stegen is not going to be an important player for Barca next season, but Ter Stegen at the moment is still quite on his position. He wants to continue at Barca, he's happy at Barca, so let's wait how the situation will develop, but for sure the Marc-André Ter Stegen situation remains one to watch. But with Inter, at the moment, there is zero into it, zero into the stories you saw in the press today. A player who is always linked with several clubs is also Rafael Leão at Milan. But today we registered the words from Uli Hoeneß at Bayern, who is a really important figure at Bayern, and he announced that Bayern are not going for Rafael Leão. That's the word from Uli Hoeneß. The information I have is that Bayern in June considered to go for Rafael Leão with some internal discussions, some internal talks. They never sent an official bid to Milan, despite reports we had from Italy at some point. Bayern never sent an official proposal to Milan. But what's important to say is that today Uli Hoeneß goes public and says that the story is over for Rafael Leão to Bayern. So we will be following the situation for the winger, and today it's also important to say that we wish all the very best to Jamal Musiala, who suffered a very serious injury today against Paris Saint-Germain, so we hope to see him back on the pitch as soon as possible. That would be really, really important. We hope to see Musiala back on the pitch as soon as possible. Then guys, something to mention also in London, between Arsenal and Chelsea. If you were here on the channel 1 week ago, so not this week, the past week, I told you, Madueke and Arsenal, there is something into it. And today I can confirm that Noni Madueke has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. 2 days ago and yesterday I told you Madueke is open to making a move to Arsenal. Overnight, Enzo Maresca says, I'm happy with Madueke, with what he's doing, but who is not happy here, they can go. I don't want players who are not happy at Chelsea. And then Noni Madueke camp has reached an agreement with Arsenal on personal terms. The contract is ready, the contract is okay, everything is agreed between Madueke and Arsenal in terms of contract. Now depends on the clubs. Arsenal are preparing their opening bid for Noni Madueke. So Arsenal are working on it, Arsenal are preparing the proposal, and Arsenal are prepared to push with Chelsea in negotiations for Madueke. At the moment, the agreement is not even close because the two clubs are not talking as of today, as of Saturday. In the next days, very soon, Arsenal and Chelsea will be in contact for Madueke and discuss about the transfer fee, the value of the deal, and all the details of this story. So stay tuned because Arsenal are prepared to open talks with Chelsea after they reach an agreement with Noni Madueke. So I'm telling you every single step of this story. Then remember that Madueke is a separate story from Average Chiese, is a separate story from all the targets we are mentioning for Arsenal, and is a story that Arsenal are taking quite serious because they have reached an agreement with the player. Let's see now what happens in these conversations with Chelsea. And then guys, remember that Arsenal remain in talks with Ethan Nwaneri over new contract. There is a conversation ongoing. The conversation is quite advanced, but Ethan Nwaneri camp is asking for explanation on the time, game time expected for Ethan Nwaneri in the near future, next season, and in the future before signing that new deal. So the conversation is ongoing, the conversation is advanced, but nothing is still signed because Nwaneri wants some guarantee. Like some offensive players are going to join Arsenal this summer. So what's going to happen there? What's going to be the game time? What's going to be the position for Nwaneri? How much is he going to play? So Nwaneri is asking these kind of questions. More than the player is his camp, obviously, asking these kind of questions to Arsenal. Arsenal have to reply. Then let's see if they will be able to complete everything and to reach the signing stage. Meanwhile, what I can tell you today is that Chelsea, in the last 24 hours, have inquired for Ethan Nwaneri. Arsenal and Chelsea are going to speak about Madueke in the next hours and days. This is a separate story about Nwaneri, but what I can tell you is that Chelsea have inquired about Nwaneri's situation. Something like, if there are problems, if there are issues over his game time, over his contract at Arsenal, Chelsea will be ready to make a proposal for Nwaneri. So Chelsea have positioned themselves, telling people close to the player and telling also those who are well informed on this story that they will be ready to attack for Ethan Nwaneri. So Chelsea will be there, but the ball is still in Arsenal court. Arsenal have the chance to extend this contract. The conversation is advanced. The player loves, obviously, the club, but now is about game time, guarantees, project, vision to get this agreement done. So let's follow the situation for Nwaneri. Let's follow all the latest in the next days, with Arsenal having the opportunity to close this saga and with Chelsea attentive to the situation. And so guys, let me know your thoughts on all these stories, from Nwaneri to Ter Stegen to Noni Madueke to Rafael Leão, Pablo, Torre, Rodrygo and all the rest. Let me know your opinion here in comments, guys. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Ciao.